Would it be helpful for you all to see this in action if Nicole and I did a quick skill practice and we literally grab the first four phrases that we've done so far and insert them somewhere in a conversation so you can kind of see how it flows? One of us is the potential customer and one of us is going to be the service provider. Would that be helpful for y'all to see that? Okay, cool. Nicole, which one do you want to be?
Um, what if I'm selling? What am I selling? Am I just selling my stuff?
Let's do yeah, coaching, personal coaching or sales coaching.
Okay,
Would that be
sure,
cool? And
sure,
I'll put myself into a avatar of someone who needs coaching. And
sure.
we're just starting the call. Do you want me to prompt you or do you want to just do it naturally the way you do it?
I'll
What?
just assume we've gotten into a conversation somehow because you found me somewhere online and you booked a call. Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, cool. And so our goal is to try to insert where it makes most sense. I'm not sure if it's for you, just out of curiosity. Who do you know? And what's your experience? And of course, I know you're going to use probably 10 other ones, but we're just going to highlight these four as best as we can. Sounds good?
Yeah, let's do
Okay,
it.
cool. I'll let you kick it off.
Okay. Hey, Carlos, glad to get to know you a little bit better and be on this call.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Nicole.
Yeah.
How's it going?
I'm curious, what was it, what's important to you about being in this conversation?
Well, I've been kind of stagnant with my business results, and this year I want to double my sales. I heard you're great at what you do. I had a couple of great glowing recommendations, and I just need to know if we're going to be a good fit and if I could afford you and maybe what kind of options we can explore it as a possibility of potentially working together.
Sure. I'm curious, you mentioned wanting to double your sales. Help me understand a little bit more about that.
Well, I've been doing about the same for the last 2 years. And I kind of just crossed over the six-figure mark. And I kind of want to get closer to the 250,000 a year in revenues. But I'm probably finding some little gaps in, developing more business or potentially inside my pipeline, I'm just not converting. I don't know what it is. But I know that I think if I have some accountability, some structure, and maybe some insights from your experience, that could be more helpful.
Okay. So it sounds like having more conversions would be helpful, kind of taking a closer look at your pipeline and where you have opportunities that maybe you're not seeing is something that you're identifying as being helpful.
Yes.
Okay. What's your experience with doubling your sales or business growth in the past?
The only thing in my experience has been is 1 year I did 50,000 and the next year I did 100 and I haven't done any more than that.
Okay. So it sounds like maybe you've stayed at 100 for a while.
Yeah. I mean, when I used to work in corporate, I, of course, like with goals and incentives and things like that, I could kill it, but there was always a cap. But now being an entrepreneur, I know that it's unlimited. So it's just more about being better about my strategies and how I could find other sources of revenue. So looking for just different perspectives.
Okay. And what would be okay about if you weren't to double your sales in the next year? How would that feel if a year from now you were still making the same amount?
It would kind of suck. I mean, it would make me question if like I really want to keep doing this or I'd rather just kind of go back to my corporate job because I'm putting in way too much work and I'm not getting the ROI and the lifestyle that I want.
Mhm. And so it sounds to me like there's some specific things lifestyle wise that are important to you about increasing your sales.
Yes.
Okay. What are some of those things?
I want to be able to travel more. I like the idea of being able to afford, to pay my mortgage, but then also kind of be work remote for a month if I wanted to. Um, that's pretty much the biggest goal. A little bit more freedom, so I don't have to work that crazy hours. So maybe work smarter rather than work harder. Those are
Mhm.
probably the two top things.
And who else do you know in your world that's an entrepreneur that's done some of those things, that's traveled and had that time freedom?
I've got a couple of mentors that I follow, and that's sort of my long-term plan, and I want to be able to build a business to kind of achieve some of those things.
Okay. And you mentioned long-term plan. What was important to you about having this conversation now?
It's just one of those. I'm in a place where I need to change something because I just don't want to keep it going, and I tried it my own way, and it hasn't given me the change that I want, and so at this point, I'm looking for different alternatives.
Okay. So it sounds like you have tried some of this on your own and it didn't give you the results that you were looking for.
No. Nicole, I'm curious more or less what does your coaching program look like? I mean, more or less like what's a price or range that I would better understand so that I can see if like I don't want to go into like a 1 hour conversation and then maybe if it's not a fit, like I would you be able to share that with me?
Well, you mentioned wanting to double your sales, right?
Yes.
And wanting to do this sooner than later so that you have the time freedom and the things that are important to you about living a lifestyle that you don't currently have based on where your sales are at. And I'm not sure if it's for you, but one of the ways that I support people that are in that type of situation where they're looking for accountability and they're looking for not just revenue growth, but the time freedom that's important to them. Um, I do have a way that would give you that accountability, would help you see the opportunities that you could double your revenue growth. And it sounds to me like, although this is a long-term plan, this is something you want to do sooner than later. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So are you in a position to make a decision about what you'd like to do next if the price and the opportunity is right for you?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
And what kind of investment did you have in mind that would make sense for you to double your sales?
Um, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, if I could double my sales, a 10x ROI would be fair investment. So I'm thinking $1,000 a month is kind of like what makes sense. And at the very least, I would like to have some monthly accountability and maybe even some other touch points, resources and other things like that. That would be like the most that I'm willing to invest for this kind of growth. That's sort of my logic.
Okay. So it sounds like around $1,000 a month feels good for you to be able to create these results. If there was a way you could create those results and step into that accountability that you're looking for, and it was around $1,500 a month, would that be something that you would be interested in?
I would consider it, but I don't know if I could make a long-term commitment. I would consider it. It is beyond what I could do. I'd have to move around some resources if that would work, but
Mhm.
I'd love to get, more understanding it like as the viability of that work. Because if the ROI can be accelerated to a place where I can afford it, then that'd be great.
Okay. It sounds like doubling your sales means you're going from 100 to 200. Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay. And if you knew that going from 100 to 200 were the results that you'd create in this program, is there anything that would hold you back from $1,500 a month, knowing that those were the results that you'd be creating?
If I knew with like a high level of certainty that it would happen, that nothing that would hold me back. I guess my question to you is, what if we sign up for 3 months and I'm not getting the outcomes that I want? Like, is there a guarantee or is there like how can I, reduce my risk or
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a great question. So one of the things that are is super important to me, I don't do this work because I do the work. I do it because I want to help people create results. And my request from you, if we were to work together, would be to make a commitment to show up and do the things that we've agreed upon. And if you're doing those things and you're not getting the results, then we will work together until you do.
I think that's fair. All right, we're gonna stop there. That was freaking brilliant. I don't want to like keep putting you on the spot there, but this is normal for you, right, Nicole? We love this stuff. We're nerds about this stuff. But
Yeah.
you all saw how natural that was, right? Did I give her some natural, legitimate objections? Did I ask for the price? She's in the middle of like asking me questions. I'm like, all right, this is getting long. Give me a price. Did that feel real?
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Did that feel real, right? Like there's gonna be 5 minutes in the conversation where you're gonna be curious and someone's gonna be like, hey, look, what's your commission before we even get started? Or hey, look, what's your price before we get started? Or like they're gonna get there. And so you have to be able, and you notice that her composure the entire time was calm, cool, collected. And what she was showing is that she slowed down the process. She didn't try to speed up. She didn't get nervous. She didn't show any anxiety, which then transmitted a lot of comfort for me to know, okay, this is someone who's done this before and is a pro of what they do. And then they're just like nonchalant about whatever I throw at them. So awesome job, Nicole. Masterclass. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody saw too. One of the things that I always try to do is like not be attached to the outcome and kind of push back, like almost go for no. Well, what would be wrong with you just making the money that you've been making? I mean, $100,000 is a pretty good amount. I didn't say it like that, but like $100,000 is good. Why wouldn't you just stay there? Well, I want the lifestyle. I want the freedom. I want the, oh, okay. So it sounds, and I repeat and affirm a lot. It sounds like the lifestyle is important to you. The money's important to you. Yes. Who else do you know that's done that? Well, I know this and I know this. So I hope that that really stood out as like, of course I'm moving him towards making a decision, but I'm doing it from a place of like, tell me yes or tell me no. Either way, I got to go. Like, right? It's not urgent. I'm not forcing you, but it sounds to me like you want these things. It sounds to me like you are interested in creating these results. And I want to make sure that you feel that way too. So cool. I hope it helped.
Sure.
Thank
Awesome job. Yeah. So real quick, these are the homework. I don't know if I'm sharing my screen. I think I am. Yes, right? These are the homework items of what we want to challenge you. We'll start at the bottom, which is have a 24-hour curiosity day. If you think you're certain and you're ready to give an answer, slow down, ask 3 more questions. But challenge yourself to see if you can just stay curious for an entire day. It's really, really hard. It's not easy. But at the very least, if you can be more curious than you were before, maybe half of the day or with a specific person, just be curious with a specific person, like the person you talk to the most. You'll surprise the heck out of yourself. You'll notice just how everything just changes. Okay. Try to identify 3 intentional moments, at least 3, later today or later this week that are taking place between now and next Thursday. Try to write different examples of each phrase where you can use it in those moments, and then practice them in the moments where it makes most sense. Before we finish today, I'd love to kind of get a quick takeaway from everyone.
And I had a question though, if that's okay with both of you. That
Sure.
was brilliant,
I
but the role play was worth the whole course, in my opinion, right there.
Thanks.